Hello my friends, we have the new update on the front lines from the Deep State military map resource, which I think is the one of the most precise resources and the sources where you can get the information about what is happening on the front lines. Also we have the timeline, we're gonna use it just right now. So there is the movement in the Bakhmut area and inside the Bakhmut city. It was yesterday and it is today. As you can see, there is no such a huge advancement as it was the last week. Ukraine took the ground just over here in this area. It was yesterday and it is today. Probably we moved just by 100 meters or something. So Russia is securing their positions in the forest lines like this one. Also they use the roads as the trenches, let's say, because the roads are usually on the higher ground. But little by little Ukrainian forces move forward. And today it was reported by Ukrainian officials that we gained around half of the kilometer of the territory near to the Bakhmut city, but where exactly, hard to tell, and according to the new military map update, we don't have the specified direction of that success. And 500 meters would be something like that, I think. Yes, this is the 600 meters, so probably here we moved by half of the kilometer, which is also good. But in general, we see that Ukraine is unable to encircle the Bakhmut city quickly, so it's a long haul operation, unfortunately. Why is it happening like that? Because we have the limited forces near to the Bakhmut city. The forces are mainly used to secure the area and not let Russians to go to the Chasiv Yar after they take the Bakhmut city. We're gonna go to it a little bit later because Wagner's moved in the Bakhmut city, unfortunately, again. So Ukraine used the most part of its military resource now preparing for the future counterattack. We're all waiting for it. I'm sure that it will happen, but still we are in lack of the precise date. And here, from what I see and also the opinions I heard, that this operation was to deflect the attention from the Russian success, let's say, inside the Bakhmut city. And also this Ukrainian offensive mission near to Bakhmut increased the tensions between the regular Russian army and Prigozhin's Wagner army. Also, it will a little bit polish the opinion from our Western allies and from Ukrainian society. Then Ukrainian forces would be forced to leave the Bakhmut city. And that is going to happen very soon, unfortunately, because Wagner's moved inside this district. As you can see, Ukraine continued to lose the ground in this area, unfortunately. So if we move to the timeline, it was yesterday and it is today. So Russia took lots of the quarters here and they call this area the nest. So they are in the nest. Still, some of the residential buildings are not under their control, and this area is also not under their control. But soon Ukrainian army would be forced to move out from this place. Luckily, we freed the supply line over here, so we may use this road over here through Ivanovsky to move our troops away from that part. But as you can see, very close to Hromove and very close to Bakhmut, there is the advancement of Ukrainian forces, and still we are not able to reach this altitude over here. We go to the topographic. Yes, the fighting is ongoing very close to that hill, but still it's very hard to get this elevation, let's say, under the control. Wagners know about it, know that it is very important. That is why they put extra forces to that place and continue to move inside the city. My friends, before we continue with other news, let me tell you about the partner of my channel and also my sponsor, the Atlas VPN. They came out with a huge deal, especially for my followers, where you can get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $170 per month. Plus, you'll have 6 months for free, and it's totally 85% of discount. Before, I tried lots of the VPN services, but finally stopped at the Atlas VPN. It is the best VPN service out there, and let me tell you why. Well, actually, my friends, I got personal experience that my pilot blog channel dedicated to aviation was hacked. Then I was using public Wi-Fi. All of my videos were deleted, and after that, hackers told me to send Bitcoin for them and they will open access to my own account. I didn't transfer anything and just started the new channel with the same name. And obviously, after that case, I used the VPN all of the time, and for me personally, Atlas VPN VPN is the best VPN out there. It has a security breach device monitoring feature, so it alerts me that someone tries to reach my device, then I use the public Wi-Fi. Then I see that message, I disconnect from that public Wi-Fi. Atlas VPN is very fast. It guarantees you the best streaming connection, then you watch movies on Netflix. And also by changing your virtual location, you may get access to watch all of the movies, all of the series on Netflix platform. It helped me a lot. And now, my friends, please check out my personal link in the video description below, where you can get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $170 per month. Plus, you'll have 6 months for free. This limited offer is valid just for my followers. That is why it's time limited, so hurry up and join the club. If we compare this situation with the future Ukrainian counterattack, well, if we go on this scenario, it would be the total disaster for Ukrainian army. There it should be a major jump, and in a 24 hours we need to take as much territory as possible. And if our forces would not penetrate all of the Russian defense lines that they were able to build for a very long time, in that case they would just bog down and will stay under the artillery fire, the Russian tanks, ammunition fire, and also the Russian aviation and the rockets. And here near to the Bakhmut, Russia wasn't able to build the huge defense lines because they were on offensive mission, unlike on the south where they are in defense for a quite long time. So the trenches that they were able to build there are outstanding, and it's better not to underestimate our enemy. Still, it's the army, they have artillery, they have mostly everything, and they still overpower Ukrainian side with their rockets and aviation. That's why probably our military is holding the horses for now. They're waiting for the perfect conditions for everyone to be ready, for the weather to be awesome for the future counterattack. There is go, no-go situation for Ukraine, and I hope that it will not go into the cliffhanger situation. Well, we believe in the Ukrainian armed forces, and I'm sure 99.9999% that we gonna be successful with the future counterattack. Here in the Bakhmut area we'll also take the ground. So finally today it was confirmed that a couple of days ago Ukrainian air defense system Patriot was damaged by the Russian missiles. But they're just tiny little damages, minor damages. And the Patriot system may function as before. Patriot systems are impossible to be destroyed by the Kinjal rocket or whatever rocket because they consist of many of the vehicles and units. We have the rocket launching unit, and also we have the raiders. The raider is more expensive and more crucial for the system. From the information we have, just the launcher was damaged, but still it didn't lose the ability to launch the rockets. And there could be lots of the launching tracks and just few of the raiders out there. There is also the command control center, so as you can see, lots of the units, lots of the vehicles are involved. That is why this system is very sophisticated and very expensive. And from what we can see, it's also very effective, also against the Russian hypersonic missiles. Well, today we have some interesting news coming from Russia about the recent events around Patriot systems and Kinjals. All of the main designers of the Russian hypersonic missile Kinjal were arrested. I've told you before that one of the designers got his family living abroad in Europe in the NATO country. And yes, that's the huge lever to push the designer to give some secret documents to the NATO countries. As you can see, Russian spies still work, and finally those guys were arrested. Actually, I'm very surprised about that case, because Russia got American and not only spies in all of the layers of their military, and not only. And there are lots of the Russian politicians, military and even intelligence officials who got their families living outside Russia in NATO countries. Here, those are just military scientists who designed the rocket, so they're not officials and they could be jailed. But I don't see the case against Naryshkin, the chief of intelligence, whose wife is in France, for example. I can say for sure that Russia messed up with this Kinzhal program because they might be intercepted by the Patriot system. But before Putin sold this technology to China, saying that this rocket couldn't be intercepted by any means, and here classical Patriot intercepted it. Turkish President Erdogan announced that the grain deal will be extended for 2 more months. It's kind of the interesting case as for me, and also the huge humiliation for Russia, because according to the deal, Russia also may export their goods, and not only, but mainly they are blocked. So we may say that this document touches mostly Ukraine and Turkey and other countries, but not Russia. For Russia it's not profitable because everyone doesn't care what they need. Nevertheless, Russia signs the agreement every time, and Russian population is mad about that. Then the Russian Foreign Ministry confirmed that there were so many anger comments under their post. Well, again, it shows that Russian Federation is a weak country. And even President Erdogan may tell Putin what to do and what not to do. Well, for Ukraine, the prolongation is awesome because we sell our grains and get dollars into Ukrainian economy. We may buy the weaponry for those dollars to fight against the Russian aggression in Ukraine. And Russia signed that agreement, approving that. Alright, today I get lots of the comments and messages on Telegram saying about this number. Yes, officially, according to Ukrainian statistics, Russia lost more than 200,000 soldiers in Ukraine. I think here we speak also about the wounded Russian personnel, and basically it fits the numbers that are coming from our Western allies, for example British intelligence, and not only. Some of the independent statistics is less severe for Russia, but still the numbers are great. I already told you before that those numbers are not really precise. For example, if we target BMP, infantry vehicle of Russians, we calculate what is the capacity of that particular vehicle. For example, it may carry 6 personnel, 6 soldiers, 1 driver and 1 commander of the vehicle, let's say, so totally 8 people. So we divide that number by 2 and we put it into the statistics. So we are unaware how many people were there. Maybe the vehicle was empty, or maybe it was full. So the number, I would say, is far to be very precise. But based on the scale of this war, this number is not far away from reality. Ukraine doesn't publish the losses of the Ukrainian side. It's the top secret information, and it is valid for any kind of the country. Russia doesn't publish their losses as well. And obviously it creates the field for the speculation. There are many experts who say that Ukraine lost around 300,000 soldiers, but my friends, it's not true. However, I may confirm that Ukrainian army losses are very severe, but for sure below the Russian losses, because Russia was on the south. They're mostly on the south. So according to the general statistics, if we take any war, if you are in the south, you lose 3 times more people or soldiers or vehicles compared to the defending side. That's why you need less forces if you are in defense, and that is why Ukraine is mostly in defense. Then we are on advancing missions. Mostly Russia is running away, as it was in Kharkiv region and as it was in Kherson. If you recall the Kherson operation, it was a little slow at the first moment because Ukraine got losses at first, but later on Russia finally decided to leave the area, leave the city itself, and in just 2 days Ukraine advanced from the far positions to Kherson city. So that is the unique feature of the Russian army. They do not go on defense, they mostly run. That's why we have less losses than we are on our attacks. Unfortunately, they were able to build barricades and trenches on the south, on the possible future direction of the Ukrainian counterattack. That's why we may expect lots of losses, and that's why we need to prepare that operation more precisely, because there is the chance that Russia wouldn't run at this time. So if we take standard 1:3 ratio, Ukraine might have lost around 65,000 soldiers. The interesting videos are coming mostly from the south. You can see lots of the armored vehicles. Those are Americans' Oshkosh, as far as I remember the name. The name is very interesting, and those vehicles are very capable. As you can see, the weather is not good, even though it was predicted to be fine this week. And let's see how it turns for the next week. And Russia moves everything they have to the front lines, but not Armata tank. For example, this is the base of the T-55 tank, but this is the 57mm cannon that was just welded on top of the tank base. Oh, sorry, the base is from the T-54 tank. This is the DIY weaponry, and they were never shown on the Russian parades. And this is not the Ukrainian flag, this is some sort of the canister with maybe tissue on top. It appeared that we have the ammunition coming from the Turkey. Those are the Turkish-made artillery shells M4A3A1. Those are the cluster shells that explode in the sky, and there are lots of the small like mini grenades. They cover the vast field, and I'm sure that we're gonna use them against the Russian defense lines. There are lots of the air sirens recently in Ukraine. Today Odessa was targeted. I got some of the videos from the place. There were 2 of the big explosions, the ground explosions, and many of the air explosions. It means that our air defense is working, but some of the rockets make it through and targeted something. Why do they increase the attacks on Ukrainian infrastructure? Because they're afraid of the future Ukrainian counterattack and want to concentrate the efforts of our management, the management of Ukraine, to take care of the different issue, how to handle the destruction that Russia caused to Ukraine. Also, our air defense is busy fighting with the Russian rockets, but it should be used on the front lines during the Ukrainian counterattack to make sure that the Russian tactical aviation will stay away from the place. So in general, yes, it's not good, but it will not stop us. The United States of America is preparing the budget for year 2024, and there should be Ukraine in it. So we'll have the military help for around $60 billion. And saying that, I think United States are planning that this war will continue for 2024. Also, some expect that the United States will go on default from 1st of June, especially Russia. Many of their resources wrote today that 60 billion military help to Ukraine next year will not worth anything. They say that dollar is just a paper, that American economy and the global economy will go down, and China and Russia will be the winners because of that situation. But my friends, there was the same song many years ago. Basically what the Congress will do, they'll just increase the limit for the United States debt, that's it. Some say that the debt is critical, it's already very high, but United States actually is capable to pay it out. Yes, not in 1 year, but they can do it potentially. It's the world's largest and biggest economy. It's the world's largest military also. So I don't think that someone will even ask the debt back from the rich and armored guy. So Biden calls the Congress to increase the limit of the debt. It was done during the Obama presidency. Then Trump was the president. It wasn't done because the limit was already high, but it was still growing. So if Trump was a president today, he would ask for the same story. He may tell now everything he wants, but that is how the things work. But you know, I'm not the expert in economy. Actually, I'm not the expert in anything apart from aviation. Here on this channel, I just share the news and my personal opinion as the guy, as Ukrainian. And if you have your personal opinion about this topic or any kind of the other one, you may share it in the comment section under this video. The Hungary politicians continue to accuse the European Union and NATO for taking the Ukrainian side in the war. Plus, they want to block all of the military trenches to Ukraine from the European Union. They do it because Ukraine put the Hungarian OTP bank to the list of the war sponsors. So until Ukraine has that bank in their list, Hungary will block everything. Well, what can I say? I'm not surprised. If they don't like the European Union, they may just leave it. Why to stay in NATO or European Union? Why to harm yourself in that way? Well, luckily we have many more of other allies, and luckily those are much more powerful compared to Hungary. I want to say again that I love the Hungarian people. They're awesome. But their politicians, well, I'm not quite fine with them. My friends, now press the like to this video, and also don't forget to check my personal link in the video description just below, where you can find the Atlas VPN Premium for just $170 per month. It's the huge offer that is valid especially for my subscribers and also followers and viewers. This deal is the time limited, so hurry up to join the club. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.